Hey there, guys. It is 10 o'clock, I think. Yep, 10 o'clock. This is the long Labor Day weekend. Excuse me. And I wasn't going to do a show tonight. And I figured it's a long weekend and so on and so forth. And I'm not really feeling all that great yet, but there's a chair. And I feel quite weak, but I need to get out of that bed. And the pain level has come down quite a bit. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sit here in this chair. I'm on medication, which is making me feel a little bit loopy, like I've been drinking. You've been drinking? So I figured this is a good time to show up, say hello. I could see you, you could see me, and we could say hello to each other. And I missed you. I think about you while I'm laying there in the bed. I've been playing with the FX2, which we have right here. And maybe I'll do a little talking on the FX2. At any time when I can't continue, we're just going to end the show, okay? But I didn't want to put another video up or say, I'll see you next week again, because I enjoy getting together with you. So right now I have just a little bit of pain in my back, not a whole lot. And what it feels like is, you know, when a child is sitting up, a baby, newborn baby, maybe whenever it starts to sit up, and you sit it up and you're playing with the child, and then it goes whoop and flops down, okay? So whatever muscles that it has in its back that holds it up basically are not developed yet. Well, that's the way it feels here. However, if I lean a little bit to this side or a little bit to this side, now it's not happening right now, okay? But if I do a little bit of leaning, the lower muscles right across, like a band, right across the back, my back, spasms and freezes and squeezes and hurts. And if I sound weak, it's because of the medication. Plenty of medication. So it started out while I was sitting at this desk, and over here in this corner, like right, let's go over here, I needed to get something. So I reached from my chair to over here to get something like the scissors or something that's over here, and I felt like a string pull right across the base of my back. Really? Are you serious? So I was walking around like a 90-year-old, humped over like this, okay, and walking very carefully, and any kind of a movement would make my back tighten up and hurt. And I figured, well, I'll have to get it to work its way out. So what I did was I consulted with Dr. Google, and one of the exercises that they wanted you to do that seemed logical is get a tennis ball, which I don't have one here, but I have one in my bedroom. Lay down on your back, put the tennis ball in where it hurts, okay, and then just kind of roll back and forth over that sore spot. Well, that sent the pain levels on a scale of 1 to 10. It sent the pain levels to a 15. Oh my God. It either crushed something or hurt something or moved something somewhere where it wasn't supposed to go. So I just laid there. And I laid there Monday, Tuesday. Actually, it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And as I was laying there, you know, nobody was coming in to check up on me. It's like I could have died the Saturday before and nobody would come in. Now, I did see Marlon. He would come in and say, you want something to eat? You know, he's the one that actually is the star of the show that came in to say hello. So I was kind of stuck. How was I going to get out of the bed, even just to go to the car and that type of thing? So I told my brother, take me to the emergency room. Okay, I can't stand this pain. I'm frozen in my bed. So it was about midnight, and he says, well, I need to sleep for another hour before we go to the emergency room. So basically the answer was no. And I chickened out. I'll tell you the truth. When I'm not one for wanting to go to the doctor because of all kinds of things. The anxiety, the panic attacks, and all that kind of bullshit actually makes it very, very difficult. And I'm thinking, like, how am I going to get out of this room? So the person that actually came to my rescue is Randy. He took it on himself to call me like 2-3 times a day. Now, Randy has a history where he is got a background in the military. And so he said he has had his back freezing up on him not once but twice. In October, I'm going to be 72. I never had that. I never had my back freeze up on me in 72 years. Okay? So he told me what to do, and I promptly didn't do it, which I think I got him agitated, but very kind man. He stayed on top of it, and he said, you have to listen to me. You have to listen to me. Okay? And the solution and the plan that he instilled into my head is very, very simple. Not a hard plan. You know, he said, stop with the damn exercises. You're not at a position to exercise. Okay? You're at a position now where your back is frozen. You have to back down whatever it is that's going on. Okay? So none of these tennis balls and no lifting your feet up and swinging it back and forth and all that kind of stuff. So he wanted me to actually take ibuprofen. And ibuprofen comes 3 or maybe more different ways. It comes in the form of Advil, which is ibuprofen. When you look at the box, Advil says ingredient, ibuprofen. Then you have Motrin, which is ibuprofen. You look at the box, it says ingredients, ibuprofen. And then you have generic ibuprofen. The Walgreens brand, the CVS brand, and the Amazon brand. So I let my other brother know, the one that lives up in Fort Lauderdale, that I need some ibuprofen. So he sent the bottle over, one of those Amazon things, delivery between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. So Randy's solution was very simple. You have to do a 48-hour test. Okay? For 48 hours, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take 800 milligrams, which is 4 pills, which is why I didn't so easily jump right into doing it. It didn't seem right to take 4 Advils or 4 ibuprofens at one time, you know. So, long story short, every 8 hours he wanted me to take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen for 48 hours, for 2 days. He says if we don't have a forward motion, you're going to need to go to the emergency room. Okay? So after dilly-dallying and playing and all that kind of stuff, okay, I did it. So the first time 1, 2, 3, 4 Advil, which is 800 milligrams. And I did look it up. And you know, it's a thing. 800, actually they have an 800 milligram tablet from Advil, and by prescription only. I didn't even know that. Okay. So I did that. What was the first day? The first day was a Friday night. Last night when I wasn't able to come on, I knew I was in some kind of trouble. I mean, I couldn't even lift up my legs or move my legs a few inches to the left while I'm laying in the bed, or a few inches to the right. Any kind of a movement that drew and made a demand on the muscles across the base of my back caused it an immediate high-grade, super painful spasm. So the reason I'm going through all this is because at almost 72 years of age, I was not aware of what was going on. And I saw myself like, Lord, take me home. I can't even move. And going to the bathroom was the most ridiculous thing you ever wanted to see. So thank God there was people there. Marlon would come over. He put his arm out like this, and he's very strong. Okay. He put his arm out like this, and I would grab onto his arm with both my hands, and I would say, oh, I got to take it. And I would pull up and sit up. Okay. And then he did it again to pull me up to get me to stand. I'm in so much pain. There's tears running down my face. That's how much pain. That's why I thought this is the end, you know. So he would walk me all the way to the toilet, leave me there, and then I had to figure out what I did was, you know, the scale that you weigh yourself on? I brought that over to the side of the toilet, and there's a bar on the wall to get up and down, like from when my dad was ill. So between that scale that was, you know, healthometer or something like that, between that and this, I was able to get myself down onto the toilet. And then getting up off the toilet, just as bad. I mean, it was a no-win situation, okay? And my back would just spasm and stay in a spasm, okay? So that's what we were doing. That's why I started to watch YouTube videos. And this one guy said exactly what I was feeling. He says, when your back is so frozen that on a scale of 1 to 10, you have pain at the level of a 15. You can't move, you can't budge. And I'm going like, buddy, you are spot on. He says, get yourself a little ball, a tennis ball or something. Find where the pain is. Not on your spine, but over to the right, in my case, over to my right side. And put the ball underneath it, and then just gently roll back and forth. And apparently, that was a very wrong thing to do, because that sent it into the atmosphere in terms of the amount of pain. And I laid in my bed trying to figure out how could they get me out of this house. Okay, what was that movie where this woman was so fat and she died, and the children, to spare her from being humiliated, they burnt the house down. Whatever happened to Gilbert Grape? Okay, so the mother was so heavy she was bedridden, couldn't move her. She was like, you know, huge, beyond huge. So what they did was they they figured there's no way they're going to get the mother. The children figured there was no way they were going to get the mother out of the house. So they decided that they were going to spare the mother of being talked about and made fun of, and they burnt the house down as a kindness act, you know. So I'm thinking like this, guys. All right. I mean, I'm laying in the bed, and I got to tell you, my thinking was cocky. Not cocky like prideful, and maybe that's not the right word. Cocky might not be the right word. My thinking was crazy, okay? Like I am doomed to this bed, you know. Can't move. As soon as I got any inkling that I had to go pee, the fear rose up so sky high. It's like, no, I don't ever want to pee again. First of all, the humiliation of it. Second of all, the having to go through the pain of getting up, being drawn up, and, you know, you ever hear that thing of a sky hook? That's what I needed. I needed a sky hook so I could pull myself up because I couldn't sit up, you know. So I did the Randy treatment, and so that was, I think, at Friday night, midnight. I took 4 of the Advil tablets, and I'll tell you something, I felt, you feel it. It wasn't a bad feeling, but it wasn't a feeling that I can remember having before. But it actually pulled it and backed it down. And it backed it down so from on a scale of 1 to 10, where just laying there and frozen in place, the pain came down to like a 7. And I'm going, oh, wow, this is amazing. Thank you, Lord. You know, so I was doing what Randy, his Dr. Randy, his prescription. Now, he's not a doctor, but he was in the military. He had to deal with people that went through this, and he said he's been through it twice. Okay, so he threw out all the no exercises. We're not in the mode for you to be exercising anything. So at midnight, I took it, and I finally got some sleep after a week and a half. So I'm explaining all of this because if you go through it, it's documented. Somebody can come and watch it. So if you're at the point, and I will say, if you're at the point where you are in really bad shape and you start looking up YouTube videos and they're telling you how to relieve lower back pain in 30 seconds and this, don't do any of that. That is not the time to be embarking on exercises. You know, you're not a chiropractor, and unless you have a live-in chiropractor, which I don't know what they would have done, might not have been the right thing to do at all. So there was no chiropractor involved, but my mind was going down these crazy thoughts. Okay, so Randy was gentle and firm and told me you have to do the 48-hour test because if it doesn't get better, it could be a bone spur, he says, or it could be the disc itself popped out, or it could be whatever's in the middle between the 2 bones, and that's what it wound up being, okay? So Friday night at midnight, 4 Advil, 800 milligrams, okay? The next morning, Saturday, at noonday, no, 8, I was doing the 8 hours. Saturday at 8 a.m., again, another 800 milligrams. And it was gently releasing my back. Saturday afternoon, so what would be 8 hours? It would be like 4 in the afternoon. Another 4 Advil. Okay. And then Sunday at, I think it would have been midnight, another 8. And I was starting to get some backing off of the pain. Okay. So I'm going, this is great. So 2 blocks from my house is an urgent care center. So Sunday morning when I woke up, 8 a.m. was the time to take 4 more Advils. So I took them. I called up. It's called MD now. They're all over the United States. So George wouldn't take me. And Marlon was like, well, we'll wait till the afternoon. So I called them. They said the lady, and she spoke English, which is very unusual for Miami. Usually it's donde vas? Okay. So she said, nobody in here. Nobody here now. So they opened at 8. So I just annoyed Marlon to the end of the earth. And he, all right. So I got this chair right here, because this chair acts like a walker. See how it rolls so easy? When we were doing the remodeling of the house, we put all new rollers. And this became like one of those walkers, you know, the walkers that they do for the people that can't walk. And I got that from my bed all the way to the front door, and then got into the car, and God bless this young man. He took me over there. The nicest ever doctor. Thank God it wasn't a bitch. Okay. So she says, boy, you got problems, don't you? So long story short, I was able to get up. They had a walker there that I could use. No, I'm sorry. They put me in a wheelchair. I couldn't get from the car to in the building, so they put me in a wheelchair. And I was able to get out of the passenger seat of the car and get into the place. And so I got wheeled up, you know, and we had trouble with the doors. And the problem was the witch, with not a W, changed the letter. She wouldn't leave her desk to come and hold the door open so that he could push me in the wheelchair in. So he was having trouble holding the door open and pushing me in. Okay. So I kind of like held the door with this hand, and they pushed me in. So they got the x-ray. There's no bone spur. There's no cracked. There's no bone damage. So she said it's all muscular. And so when you're on Advil, ibuprofen, any one of those type of medicines is called NSAID. That's the type of medicine. So she changed it from Advil. She says, that is ripping up your stomach. Advil will rip up your stomach. Now, I did know from years ago, a doctor said, whenever you take Advil, automatically take a Prilosec. He says, Advil will strip away all the protective lining on your, stomach and cause more problems than you know what to do with. So I had been taking, for the 4 or 5 days where I was taking the Advil on and off, not Randy's way, okay, I was taking the Prilosec, okay. And then, of course, whenever I took the 800 milligrams of the ibuprofen, I took a Prilosec with it. So I never felt the pain in my stomach. So she gave me 2 medications, a muscle relaxer and I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable. This is probably the longest I sat in any one place, upright, okay, in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. So the thing is, at the beginning, so she switched me over to another NSAID, okay, and stopped the Advil. So it was 200 milligrams of this particular stuff. It's called Celebrex, okay? So if you look up Celebrex, that's what that is. It's like Advil on steroids, but it's prescription only. So if you ever get into this kind of a condition and you're able to deal and take the Advil, get somebody to prescribe you some Celebrex. And of course, the generic form, okay? Doesn't have to be, the name brand. And I did. I got the generic form. So I switched over to the Celebrex, which would have been due at 4 o'clock in that afternoon. But nobody would go to the pharmacy to get me the medication. So I actually didn't get the medication until Monday. So I stayed on the Advil because the pain was now down at a scale of 1 to 10. It was now down at a 7. And the next day, somebody went and got me the, whatchamacallit, the Celebrex. My mind is a little loopy, okay? Now, the other medication that she gave me was a muscle relaxant. Well, the first couple of times I took that, wow, I was like, woo, I slept like a baby. It just puts you out. But then when you stay on that, you really get looped out. So I started to skip, okay? And I actually stopped taking that yesterday. And everything is doing very well. So now I enlarged the story for 2 reasons. You guys are therapy to me, okay? There's nobody that comes in and sits and talks. I mean, people will come home and nobody will even open the door to see if I'm alive, okay? And I did a lot of thinking about you guys. So I did get calls. Woody called me today, and I spoke with Jim Monday today, and I feel sorry for Randy because he was on the phone 2, 3, 4 times a day, and sometimes for an hour or 2. You know, God bless that man. And now I'm able to get up, walk around. I can actually get to use my own homemade, which is just a chair with rollers on it, you know, walker to get around. Randy's sending me a message. I hope we are on the air and I spent all this time. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, I tried to reach him all day today. The phone was in the car. Okay. He might not even know I'm live. So I did make a video last Friday. And I thank you. And I have to say this sincerely. Because how many times you'll hear somebody say, pray for me. So I know some of you guys really did pray for me. So this thing is annoying me. Okay. So whoever did pray for me, I have to say a big thank you. More than a big thank you. I owe each of you $1 million, checks in the mail. Okay. So let me just spend some time with the people that I love here. Okay. Evelyn's here. She's saying a big fat hello. Hi, Evelyn. I'm not going to sing to you tonight because I don't want to lift up my hand to turn on the church with the reverb. And do I sound weak to you guys? You know, I feel like I'm very weak because it was quite an ordeal. Oh, and in the middle of all this, as if it wasn't, what do they call that? Wasn't enough trouble, I ate something that gave me not immediate, within an hour, 100% vomiting and diarrhea. And they brought home some sliced watermelon where they look so pretty. They're cut like a piece of cake. And I thought when I ate it, it tasted so refreshing, you know. But it had a soapy taste to it. So I bet you there was something on there. I mean, I threw up and threw up and threw up. And, you know, I was waiting for my back to go back into the spasms because, you know, when you throw up, you're crunching your stomach, and it didn't happen. So I have made some real serious forward motion. So thank you for coming in to say hello, Evelyn. If you watched the video from last week and you did pray for me, I want to say thank you. Hal texted me. Hal, thank you so much, buddy. He works in the church, so I don't know. Some of you guys did more above and beyond. Okay, so I don't know what you did to be helpful, but grateful is my middle name right now. Okay, so I wanted to say thank you. So Shane contacted me. He texted me, and he said he has had experience with the back problems. And see, I didn't even know this with you guys, which is why, besides me talking a lot, okay, I needed to say it so that if anybody goes through it and it looks like there's not even a light at the end of the tunnel, okay, and you're in a position where you have no way to get help, you need to do something to back the pain down. Okay, now I'm not a doctor, I'm just sharing what happened with me. So Sammy contacted me and texted me, how are you doing? Shane contacted me and texted me. When I say texted, I don't mean one single text. All right. So far, everybody here has sent more than one text. So I spoke with Jim today. He put me on the prayer list at his church, which is very, very appreciated. Hi, Peter. Glad to see you and pray you will continue to feel better. I'm sure. Oh, well, they're right there. There's the better. Okay. So you guys really acted like a family. So this being a show, it's not a show. Okay. This is a family unit. Oh, and I meant to tell you, Jim, you know, we were talking today on the phone. You know who's an expert in RVs? I don't know if you know it, or maybe you do know it. Norm. Norm writes articles on RVs. And I don't think he would mind if you reached out to ask him any kind of questions that you would have, if that's helpful. If not, then I'm not pushing for you to connect up with anybody. But I didn't know if you knew that Norm would be considered an active expert on RVs. So Woody, thank you for your prayers, your help, your phone call today. Okay, and Woody's saying hi to Jim. And Jim is actually setting up one of Woody's family, Luke, one of his grandkids, because he wants to go into the field that Jim Mundy's in. Okay, so actually Jim sent me pictures of the new baby. The baby's a year old. What the hell? Didn't he just have the baby just 4 or 5 weeks ago? The baby is a year old. And he's gorgeous, beautiful skin, and he's large. He's going to be a brute. What do they call it? A heartbreaker. He's absolutely beautiful. So that's Jim Mundy's, I don't know, let's call him his nephew. I don't think it's exactly a nephew, or maybe he is, I don't know. So you guys are all above and beyond. So Philip, how you doing? Glad to see you, Peter. God bless you. I hope you will become better soon. This is the kind of a better that happens inch by inch. It's not like, don't think I don't feel like I want to twist my back and just pop it, because I really feel like that sometimes. It feels like, oh, damn, if I could just stretch and get it to pop, it'll all just go back in and it'll be gone. And it really felt like I wanted to do that. I didn't do that because I was already trained by the pain. Don't agitate your back, okay? Don't get in there and hurt your back. Now, the more I'm talking, I feel weak, but I feel my voice is getting a little stronger. So Carlos called me up on the phone. Hey, what you doing down there? What are you being sick for? So he called me. Love you, Peter. Glad to see you up and moving. And thank you, Carlos. Thank you for your prayers and all the help you guys are. It's, you know, I would say you guys are more help than the actual family that I have here. And I'm not trashing my family by saying that, okay? And I think if you guys could actually do more, you would have done more. So Carlos picked up the phone. That's Bokeh Bashudo is Carlos. Okay. So I had 3 things that I wanted to talk about on the show tonight, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go all the way through. What time is it now? 10:35. When I have to go, I'm just going to go. Okay. And until then, we're just going to spend some time together. So I want to talk about Carlos's show. There's some good stuff going on there, just as his show, but he's got a lesson in there, a game that I wanted to play with you guys. I might save it for another night when I feel like I'm in one of those let's talk like hell kind of moods. I don't really feel like I want to do that right now, but I just want to say I love you, each and every one of you. Thank you, Carlos, for picking up the phone and calling me. Was it a disc issue? Back injuries are the worst. Yeah. You know, Shane, I don't know the right nomenclature, and the only reason for that is when you're at that level of pain and and you combine it with fear, okay? Because I was like really worried, what is she going to do? Is she going to push on that one spot that made it hurt like hell? And she didn't, okay? But she found the area. Then we did an x-ray. Then she came in with his needle and a shot, and I said, where is that going? Pull your pants down. And I got a shot. And you know, I would say in the last 2 or 3 days, I had lots of pain from that shot location. It's like, ouch, you know, but it didn't hurt that bad when she gave me the shot. But after, it's like, I want to take more Advil just for the shot, you know. Now that's a little funny. I could laugh at myself for that. So she made the indication, okay, and I don't know the right terminology, which is why I'm going to explain it. There's bone, and there's a cushion between. The cushion between the bone that keeps them separated got crushed, but not 100%, like 85%. That's the number she chose, okay? And I don't know if there's a nerve in there that got crushed along with it, so I don't know if that is what you called it, a disc, or what it's called, but that's how she explained it. So the insulation between the 2 bones, and the spine is made up of all these round bones that go up and down the spine, and they're kept apart by this cushion in between, and that cushion is what she said is 85% crushed, okay? And when you move, meaning me, when I move, okay, left, right, forward, back, or try to sit up, or even just move my feet in the bed, anything that makes a demand on those muscles back there, it caused them to freeze up. That freezing up is called a spasm. That spasm is uncannily painful. That's all I can say. That's the best I can explain it. So I'm not sure if the disc is the bone, Shane, or if the disc is the round thing that's the cushion between the bones. But it's the round cushion that was between the bones that she said that's where your problem is. Okay? So the miracle from God is I got to the car, which I thought I can't even get to the toilet, never mind the car. So I got to the car. I got to go the 2 blocks over, urgent care, and I got, you know, the help. And, you know, I was telling you before, you think crazy thoughts. It did occur to me, the C word occurred to me. What if it's, you know, the bone breaking up? What if there's the C word? The C word is the bad word. That's something you don't want to have, okay? Think the worst thing. Well, I thought it. I have to scold myself for doing it, but I did think it, okay? I'm being honest with you. If I can't share honesty with you guys, forget it. You guys are as close as family to me. So how do I know if there's something that reared its ugly head, you know, and what if it's the C word? I don't even want to say the word, okay? Because I don't want to go like that. So, anyway. So I think Norm was up next. Merry Christmas, Peter. Good to see you up and about. Thank you, Norm. Thank you for your well wishes and your prayers. I appreciate you guys on a personal level now, okay? Because of the experience, the personal level. Better late than never. I don't know what you're referring to, but if I had to guess, I'm going to train you guys yet. When you make a statement, say what it's about, even if you have to put a dash or parentheses, because I talked about so much bullshit here. I'm guessing the thing to do Randy's prescription is what you're talking about, that I did do it. That's my guess. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me. Scotty says, did you get my call last week? I would have to say no, but it's not because it didn't come through. It's because when you've got that level of pain, everything else takes a second seat, takes a second priority. It's like, you know, ouch, it's painful. So thank you for calling, Scotty. I do appreciate it. So I know you've been through some medical issues too. I don't know if it ever, on your pain levels ever got on a scale of 1 to 10, where your pain levels were at a 15. But boy, if that isn't damaging to your whole existence, you know. So Norm says, Merry Christmas, Peter. Good to see you up and about. I haven't seen Roy. Randy said that you said, Roy, that I did something to you. I've never, to anybody ever. I don't ban people. I have banned the pornography sites, but there's only one person that I came within close this much to ban, but I didn't do it, okay? And those of you that know, that are in the know who it is, okay? But even with that, I did not push the ban button. So I have to say I never banned anybody except the porn sites, you know, that get me all hot and bothered. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. So Scotty's asking, how's the chicken? The chicken died. They had it for dinner. The chicken is dead. So Norm says, the chicken was delicious. The family enjoyed the dinner. The chicken, not so much. Scott says, I might need to do a short live stream tonight, Peter. Yeah, I was not going to do a live stream, and with the Labor Day weekend. Oh, by the way, guys, have a good, happy, and safe Labor Day. Might as well say it. So, but I appreciate, you know, to show you my appreciation for you guys is that high, that I was just going to do another video and say, you know, I need another timeout period, but I really wanted to come in and see you, okay? Because you guys interact with me during the week, text, phone calls, text, okay? So this is not just the show. It's like not a huge channel. We've never grown. And at first I was sad, like, why isn't my channel growing? But honest to God, I'd rather have you than have a big frickin' channel. I'd rather have you that will call me and will text me, how are you doing? And you'll give me advice. Oh, I went through that. This is what I went through. This is what I did. Randy stepped up and said, you got to do 48 hours of 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. You got to do it. Stop effing around and get it done, you know. And I finally did. Took him a few days to get me on track, but I did. So Scotty says, Celebrex is an anti-inflammatory, I think. You're 100% spot on. It's the anti-inflammatory. Now I'm going to sound like I'm a smartass, and I'm not. But I did do a lot of Dr. YouTube and a lot of Dr. Google, okay? And I even discovered chat, what is it, CGP or whatever the heck it is. My cousin got me turned on to that. And that's pretty good, to be honest with you. But the anti-inflammatory part of it, Scott, is what allows the healing to actually happen. Where if I took that with Tylenol, it deadens the pain, but it doesn't put your body in a position where it could start to heal and be fixed. Where the anti-inflammatory drugs and the muscle relaxant drugs puts the muscles in a position to start healing. Like, how long have I been? So 10:46. So I've been 46 minutes here. I don't feel worse now than when I first started. So I am being very, very paying over attention to what my body is saying, and I haven't had a problem yet. Now, I do feel uncannily weak, and that's because I'm really not eating all that much, to be honest with you. I went 5 days without food because I couldn't get up and nobody came in. Marlon actually said, you need something to eat, and he went and got me a taco. Okay, God bless that kid. So, you know, it's a good thing. God will raise up the people to help you, you know, I guess if you stay in touch with God. So Randy is here, thank God. Hi, everybody. Peter, take Scott's advice. Make it a short live stream. Do not sit too long. Stand up and walk or lay down, but not for long. Well, I'm going to go to the end of the comments here, and then we're going to close the show out. I'm not even going to go into the FX2, but if you're waited with bated breath as to what I have to say about this camera, it's not what you're expecting. Okay, I have a bone to pick with people, and the bone is very simple. This is one of the best cameras I have ever had, period. And I've gone through the big bodies from Canon and Nikon, and Sony has shot themselves in the foot with this camera, okay, by naming it the FX2. 100% incorrect, okay, because that scooped in all the FX3 people as if they are professional experts on what the FX2 is. The FX3 people think this camera is aimed for them. It couldn't be farther from the truth. This camera is not aimed at the FX3 people. This is my opinion. So, and I'm getting hot under the collar now, which might be good to get my blood going. Okay. This camera is basically the A7 Mark IV, one step forward, and if it actually had a new sensor, this would be the A7 Mark V. But because it's the same sensor as the A7 Mark IV, I would say it's just the A7 Mark IV, very similar to what Sony did when they took the A7 Mark III and put it in an A7C body. Okay, they stuffed that whole camera into a smaller body, and people bypassed it when the A7 III is. I worked with the A7 III for 2 years in the Christmas room. So the way they named this camera shot it in the foot. And the second thing is, if you're going to listen to anybody that's got the FX3 talk about the FX2, don't believe them. Do not believe them. This camera is not the answer to the prayers of the FX3 people. This is not an FX3 Mark II. This is not an FX4. Okay? This should have been called the FX40 to go after the A7 Mark IV. Because that's what this really is. It's an A7 Mark IV where they took the best parts of that, put it in here. They took the best parts of the FX line, okay, which would be the form, and put it in here. And then they named it after the FX3, and it gave every FX3 owner license to give you their opinion. And their opinion basically does not count. This is not an FX3, not even a companion camera. This camera is all of Sony's good stuff in one body. Okay? So they took the A7 IV, all right? Take one giant step forward. Mother, may I? Yes, you may. We gave you a full-size HDMI port. We gave you a fan. We gave you that, what is it, that super fast card slot. We gave you the functionality of a cinema camera, which is a whole other story. This is actually two cameras in one. You could take the entire part here where it says movies and stills. You could take the movie part out and still have a full functioning camera. This camera is the #1 recommendation on my list for anybody, unless maybe you're shooting film, for, NBC or what's that other, Netflix, okay? But the relationship between this camera and the FX3 on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 1. The only part of it where it's related is they took the form factor, the layout of the FX3, and that's what its contribution is to the FX2. And where Sony screwed up is they named it the FX2. And all the FX3 people in the world, they're eager for an update. It's way overdue, 2 years. Okay? And they're going, Sony didn't listen to us. Why did they do sideways? Why is the 60p in a crop mode? Blah, 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 blah. In one ear and out the other. So if you hear, I'm not saying every single FX3 owner is bad, but I'm saying most of them are in the understanding of this camera. I would rather have this camera than any other camera. Okay? This is an A7 Mark IV. This is an A7S Mark III. This is an FX30. This is somewhat of an FX3. This is all of the goodness that Sony can muster in one camera. And there is no negatives. Is it too big? No. I can hold this like this. I shouldn't do this. And the camera fits in my hand. The size is just amazing. Okay? And it's got a button here to trigger it to go into recording for content creation. You want to trigger it? Push that button right there on the front. You don't have to go hunting for the button on the top. It's got a red light here. It's got a red light there. Okay? This that they complain about, the viewfinder, God bless them that they put this viewfinder on here. It's amazing. If you bitch and moan about the viewfinder, give it 3 days and you won't anymore. At first, I was like hitting my face with it, hitting my elbow with it. No more. It's completely part of the camera now. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best cameras I have ever owned. And for the price, this is where I would lead anybody to have a fully functional, amazingly good, camera. It's got the S-Sim tone. It is, my warning to you is do not listen to the FX3 people. They embrace the camera as a gift from Sony to them. It is not. This camera and the FX3, the only thing they're related is by the form factor. When I say the form factor, the shell, the way it looks like a square solid body, okay? Where you take the A7 Mark IV, okay, it looks like a camera with a hump, okay? If you take the A9 Mark III, it looks like a camera with a hump, okay? So the form factor, with all these extra holes all over the camera, all right, that is what it took from the FX3. So this is not a baby brother to the FX3. This camera is far superior to the FX3 for a lot of people. Now, in defense of the FX3, it's got its place in the world. If you're going to shoot professional documentaries, professional this or professional that, then the FX3 definitely has its place. but this should have never, ever been called the FX2. It should have started a whole new line. You can call it the FX because of the form factor, but no FX2, okay? It should have been the FX400, FX40. So when they do come with the A7S Mark V, this could become the FX50, okay? That's where Sony has scrambled the public. This is my own personal opinion, okay? So if you listen to any kind of a review on the FX2 and it's a guy that has the FX3, most likely he has embraced this as Sony's gift to him and Sony fell short. When in truth, this is all the best of all the rest of their cameras all put into one camera. You can't get any better. They could not have made this any better, okay, unless it just floated in the sky. That's how I was shocked. I was actually, when I ordered this, I was hesitant because I didn't know enough about it. What I knew was that my channel ran on the A7 Mark III for 2 years. I was getting compliments left and right, how nice everything looked and the colors, and the A7 Mark III did a great job. So the A7 Mark IV, and I know Jim Mundy has one of those, okay, is that camera one step forward. Well, you take that camera and one giant step forward again, this is what you have. You'd have to get into a $6,000 camera, and it still would not be a camera you could make content with as a content creator because of the size of the bodies. That's where I'm pointing out. The size of the bodies is what makes the $6,000 cameras. Like I asked Jim on the phone today, would you be comfortable taking the A7 Mark IV and vlogging with it? He said, heck no. Heck no. The camera's just too big. You can do that with this. And you've got crazy good stuff in here. So the blame falls on Sony. This should have been the FX line. I can agree because it's the same shape as the FX30. Sammy has the FX30. Okay. Excuse me, FX3. It's got the same shape. It's got all the little screw holes all over the place. That's where it ends. If you take, they didn't take the guts of the FX3 and put it in here. The guts of the A7 Mark IV, but next generation. This camera has the most powerful focus system, according to Sony, ever. And with me laying in bed for the last 2 weeks, I really got good at focusing on my air conditioning vents on the ceiling, my doorknobs on the door because I couldn't move. And I'm sitting here playing with this and I'm focusing on the air conditioner vent on the ceiling light over there, on the doorknob over there, on my toe down there, okay? Dang, and that's with no lights on in the room and it's nailing the focus. Yeah, it's true. And they didn't even put the dangling shit on here, okay? There's no noise. You can't shake anything here. Now that's my opinion. You could have a very different opinion, okay? And I honor your opinion. But Sony did not do this camera any favors because people that are looking to get into their first Sony camera and they don't know what to look at, this is the best of all the Sony cameras. The 6700, the FX30, the FX3, the A7 Mark IV, the A7 Mark III. What are their other cameras they got out there? I can't think of it all. All of that in here, plus a brand new higher end focus system. It's the best of the best. Best camera I've ever owned. And I've had the A7S Mark III. And I was tempted to go with the with the FX3. All right. So that is my not so quick synopsis of that camera, of this camera. And that's with camera in hand. So this is, I've made comments about this camera before I received it, okay? And that's because I thought I knew Sony cameras, but until I actually got this camera and until I actually played with it everywhere I could play with it, even just stuck on the toilet, stuck in my bed. And then when I started going in the kitchen, walking around, I wouldn't trade this camera for anything you guys have. Okay? Not one single camera that and I know what most of you own. So this is the creme de la creme. And I'm kind of sad that Sony didn't have it in their imagination to say, this is a new era of cameras. This is all of our best stuff, best focus system, best image stabilization, dynamic active. And I can tell the dynamic active's image stabilization, like Shane has said before, that he didn't care for the dynamic active in here. Okay. The dynamic active in here actually looks rock solid from my bed. Okay. Because I wasn't going anywhere. So that's our synopsis. So let's get back to the important part of this show, which is you guys. And that is the important thing. Hi, Tom. How you doing, buddy? How's everything? How's your wife? I haven't seen you in here for a while, but I know you're the hockey master now. But I love you. Thank you for always being there for me. And he has. And I just saw, what was the newest video that you did? I just saw it, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. Anyway, doing great. So, hi, Tom. Sending out a special hello just for you. You have been more of a pillar for me than you will ever know in many areas and in many ways. And all of you guys have been that. That's why we don't have 10,000 subscribers, but the 500 or 400 that we have, it's like all the gold. All the gold is gathered together in one spot. So Shane is saying hi to Randy. And Randy is saying hi to Geeky Nerdy Techie. Howdy, partner. Have a great weekend. Norm, Randy's saying get off the phone. Get off the thing. Yeah, I'm going to end it pretty soon now. Did I do the hour? Oh, crap. Boy, I didn't even believe I talked that much. So, sounds like a visit to... Hey, where'd you go? Sounds like a visit to the chiropractor would be a good idea. Yes, I think so too. It's a disc bulge. It's brutal stuff, Peter. No good. If you've been through it, I'm so sorry. That's when you need family and close people to support you. And that's when people are just too busy sometimes. I'm not hammering my family. They have businesses, they have stores to run, you know. But I really felt very alone. I really did. So check out Dr. Harry Macazans, chiropractor in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Oh, he is originally from Toronto. He fixed my back years ago, and I have not had any pain since his treatments. That sounds good. Do me a favor, text me that name, because I don't know, these chats don't appear later on. When I want to look it back up, I don't find it. The disc is cartilage between the bones in your back. Discs don't slip, but vertebrae can become misaligned, and only a chiropractor can treat this. Regular doctors who prescribe, they just do pills, right, Norm? Ah, I see you. It's a pill. I see you as a walking pill. Salted Serenity. Hey, Big Daddy. A quick question. Should I wait until iPhone 17 Pro Max or get a camera for a fortune? All right. The iPhones, quick answer. iPhones are as good as a camera. The difference between an iPhone and a camera is the background blur. Now, I do understand that the background blur is something that the iPhones are getting bigger and bigger and bigger into. But what would you have with you most of the time? Because if you own the camera and it's like a diamond that you set up on your shelf, it's not going to do you any good. So, Salty, If you're going to have the phone with you all the time, then get the phone. Because the purpose of it is not just to look pretty. The purpose of it is to create, create, create. And that's where you should be watching Bokeh Bashudo, one of the commenters in here. And he tells you and shows you how content creation is an expression of your creativity that God gave you. It's a release to be creative, and it's a therapy. And he's nailed it. So I like cameras. To me, cameras is a toy. I'd rather have the camera because I like toys. It feels so good to have a camera in my hand. It's a guy thing, like penis envy. This feels good. It's like a sports car, okay? When I hold my phone, this does nothing for me. It's not going to track any friendships with guys. It's not going to attract any chicks. It's a phone. It takes nice pictures, okay? But it's a phone. Now, if you're the type of guy, the phone works for you, then that's what you have with you. Then get the damn pictures. That's critical, okay? So, Phil says, Peter, your YouTube family makes you stronger. Well, look what just happened here. It's kind of like a little miracle. I wanted to come on here for 10 or 15 minutes because I thought I was going to sink. I really did. And I was ready to, okay, I wanted to say hi. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you, but I have to get going. So we have been here for an hour and 7 minutes. That is you. You got my mind off of myself and got my mind off of talking with you, allowing me to bullshit on the FX2, get a little steam out, okay, on the camera because it's so unfair, you know, and it's so demeaning to not recommend this camera to anybody that wants a good camera because they're not missing anything. And a 60p in crop mode, you're not missing anything. It doesn't give a hoot that it's in crop mode. It doesn't matter one iota. Only in the grand scheme of trophies on your mantle of 60p being in crop mode, and I don't have that trophy in this camera. Well, you don't need it, okay? So, and if you do, then don't buy it. I mean, it's that simple, honestly. There's only a handful of cameras that give you 60p and not crop mode. The FX3 is one of them. So, there you go. Here's another buddy, Mark. Thank you, Mark, so much. Thank you for your well wishes, and if you said any prayers for me, I appreciate it. All right, guys. I'm actually not feeling worse at the end of the show than I did at the beginning. I don't know what's going to happen when I stand up, okay? But I think it's time to go and relax a little bit. Maybe find a nice Christmas movie and watch that. And I do, come to think of it, this is going to sound crazy to you, I do feel hungry. And I haven't felt hungry in almost 2 or 3 weeks. But I do feel a little bit hungry. So maybe you guys have engaged my appetite. Having friends, getting my mind off of myself. And you didn't even know you did that to me, did you? You think I'm a bullshit artist, don't you? Well, you really did help me tonight. And I almost didn't come on. I tried to call Randy a dozen times to say, you think it's too much if I go up, you know, and have a live show? And I tried to think of what would he say, and anyway, I didn't get any feedback because I never was able to reach him. So I did an hour live show. So we have exceeded the expectations. Mookie's in here. Love you, Mookie. Thank you. Just got back from taking photos at a high school football game and caught the ending. Glad to see you, Peter. Stay strong. Okay, so Mookie, You made me think of something, but I'm not going to start round 2 on this. Okay? We got a lot more, God willing, and the bridge isn't up. We got a lot more shows coming up. So thank you for being here, everybody. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Did I happen to say that I appreciate you? Hello? I don't know how else I could say it. So pray I win the lotto. I'll send you $1 million. The check's in the mail. All right, guys. Have a good one. I love you, and I appreciate you. And thank you for getting my mind off myself tonight. You know, you didn't even realize you did it. And you did it by allowing myself to be myself. Okay? And that's part of a very important part where you're not always in the back of your mind waiting for the other shoe to drop. So the other shoe did not drop. I succeeded. And I should have taken the weekend off because it is a 3-day weekend. You guys be safe, okay? Remember, it's not your bad driving that causes the accidents. It's the other guy that drank too much and that their abilities to drive is handicapped, okay? And it is handicapped. And that's why the person that's doing the driving, you know, that's the guy that the other people get killed, and because he's so relaxed, you know, he doesn't get hurt, and he should be the one to get hurt. All right, Shane is saying take care, everybody. All right, we're going to close out the show, and God willing, do keep me in your prayers for a few more days, okay? We need to get past the little old man walk where I'm bent over and that kind of stuff. Mookie is saying have a great weekend, and I love you guys. Have a good one. Which camera? I'm on that camera. Bye-bye.